90% of being cool is looking cool, said Chris Kyle in his autobiography, American Sniper. Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL, served 10 years as a Navy SEAL, had a family, and also struggled with PTSD. Today, we will take a look through the sights into Chris Kyle's life, his career, and his tragic murder. This is Chris Kyle. He met his wife Taya at a bar. It's not your stereotypical one-night stand bar story. He met his wife, went out with some of his Navy SEAL buds, and he started talking to Taya, and she asked what he did for a living, and he told her he was an ice cream truck driver. She, of course, did not believe him because he was too buff for that. But she then put together that he was in the military. As the night went on, they became more and more intrigued with each other. At the end of the night, Chris gave Taya his number, and his buds, of course, making fun of him, thinking that, well, she's not going to call. The next day, sure enough, she did call, and a couple months later, they ended up getting married. As most marriages do, it led to children. He had a son and a daughter. Chris Kyle's career was a Navy SEAL, although at first he was not going to be allowed to become a Navy SEAL because he had pins in his arm from a rodeo injury. Chris Kyle's had to pass the BUDS, which was a class or basic training that one must pass to become a Navy SEAL, and he passed with flying colors. As Navy SEAL stands for Sea, SE, Air, A, and Land, L. Navy SEALs carry out special counterterrorism and special force tasks that most military would not be able to do. Chris Kyle is one of the more memorable SEALs. He had 160 kills confirmed at the Pentagon, but to his own belief, he had almost double that. He was awarded 2 Silver Stars, 5 Bronze Stars with Valor, 1 Navy and Marine Corps Commendation, and 2 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals. As most wartime heroes do, Chris Kyle suffered from PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and he suffered as 1 in 3 do. With his suffering, he coped by having his family and friends always at his back. But his murderer, Eddie Ruth, did not have quite such a caring back for him. Eddie Ruth's mom contacted Chris Kyle because Chris was always out to help somebody who was in need. And Chris and his friend Chad Littlefield picked up Eddie Ruth to take him to a shooting range one day when the unthinkable happened. Chris Kyle and Chad Littlefield were shot point blank multiple times by Eddie Ruth because he believed that Chris and Chad were trying to kill him. Eddie had a history of mental illness and PTSD. He stole Chris's truck and fled the scene, going to his sister's house where he confessed to his sister what he had done. His sister convinced him to turn himself in, which he did. He was found guilty of capital murder of Chad Littlefield and Chris Kyle. Today, we have taken a look through the sights into Chris Kyle's life, his career, and his tragic murder. 90% of being cool is looking cool, as I previously stated. I personally think Chris Kyle was a pretty cool guy.